And today, please just use the chat box in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. I'm going to have you answer just a couple of really basic introductory questions before we get started here, and then we'll begin in about 4 to 5 minutes. And you should see those questions on your screen now. Awesome, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Jason Dane. Please correct me if I'm saying that incorrectly. Thank you, Yun. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Welcome and nice to meet you. If everyone can hear me, can you give me a thumbs up really quick? All right, awesome. We're off to a good start. So my name is Carson Painter, and I'm the district manager for San Mateo and the surrounding area. Now, you are interviewing for a position with the San Mateo team, and we work with people who live anywhere within 50 miles. And just to give you a personal illustration, I was in your seat about 4 years ago. I found out about the position that I got from a letter in the mail. My mom was extremely skeptical of it, as a mother should be, and this was after I had finished my first 2 years of wrestling and pursuing my business administration degree with a concentration in management at Chabot Community College in Hayward. That summer, I received a scholarship to wrestle in North Dakota at the University of Jamestown, a small private school up there. Now, I attended training and found that it really built my confidence a lot and gave me everything that I needed to get started. So during my first couple of weeks, I practiced with my parents, friends' parents, teammates' parents, teachers at school, wrestling coaches, and then a few of my neighbors. The product more than made up for the fact that I really didn't have any formal work experience prior to starting here. The only job that I had throughout high school and junior college was landscaping for my dad's small company. I remember making my first sale and actually earning my first pay raise and promotion on just my second day working here. And I felt really incredible about that achievement. Then two things happened as I continued to do more and more presentations. The first was that my communication skills drastically improved. I definitely considered myself to be a terrible listener growing up, so the idea of talking to strangers or adults made me pretty uncomfortable. And I found myself constantly rambling, stuttering over my words, and sweating when I would make mistakes, which was pretty often when I was new. So this job really helped me develop self-confidence, public speaking, interpersonal, and communication skills. The second was that people recommended their friends, family, and coworkers to me. And so I then developed the ability to network. Through this job, I've been able to cultivate a network of over 750 people. In fact, when I was 19, I had the opportunity to sit down in front of several CEOs of large companies through this job. And during my time in college interviewing for other jobs, I realized that most interviewers didn't really care so much about what I knew. They cared a lot more about who I knew and what they said about me. Again, underscoring the importance of being able to develop genuine connections. So I worked here part-time my very first summer after Chabot, and I was still training for collegiate wrestling and getting ready to move out of the state. I wrestled in North Dakota for 3 years, and I had the opportunity to travel all over the United States and work here remotely around my wrestling schedule, my class schedule, and I was also an active member in the University of Jamestown's chapter of the North Dakota Wildlife Society. So I really enjoyed the flexibility of the job when I was new. I'd work in the evenings after practice or on the weekends if I didn't have any wrestling meets or Wildlife Society conferences. And during my time here, I was able to graduate from one of the most expensive private schools in North Dakota with very little debt and still have money in the bank when most of my peers accumulated lots of debt and really didn't have much saved up at all. So I started with people that I knew and I started to branch out from there. I began by seeing friends of friends, and shortly after I was seeing friends of friends of friends. And after my first couple of weeks, I had been recommended to over 200 new people to see. Now, I'd have to go back and count that exact number, of course, but what I realized at that moment was I was in control of both my schedule and my income as a student athlete, which is really hard to come by. Now, our time today is going to be split into two different sessions. First, we are going to have an information session, and there's a number of you present here for that, but like I said before, you are all currently muted. I can see and chat with each of you. However, you can only see and chat with me and my assistants, Blake McNally and Bree Nunn. Now, the reason we decided to go use this group platform is just to save us all a little bit of time, because with the amount of applicants we have, we are taking a lot of applications. And I just don't have 40 minutes to be able to spend with everybody going through the same position description individually multiple times in a day. And I'm sure you're all able to understand that. So we just decided to bring all of you in here at the same time for a quick 40 to 45-minute description of the entire position and the company itself. Now, I know some of you might have received a letter in the mail like I did when I first started, so congratulations on that. Others might have found us online or on social media like Snapchat, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I also know that some of you have friends on the team already, and you may know quite a bit about us. I know we have a couple friends of Darnell in here, a friend of Bree Nunn, and also a friend of Celeste Javier. But I also recognize that others really may not know much, if anything, about our remote customer sales and service position. So we are going to watch a brief position description video. After that, I'll talk about our team, our pay, and what training would be like if you were accepted. Now, we train all of our new team members remotely through Zoom. So nobody is coming into the office for training, and people are doing in-person work or working from home if they want to. This is also why there is no experience necessary for this position, because we provide all of the training for free. Now, after we meet in a group, I'll be meeting with each of you one-on-one. We'll pull you aside and speak privately, either through a breakout room or a phone call if we're having tech issues, and nobody else will be able to hear our conversation. I just like to ask you some questions about your personality, maybe about previous experience you have if it's applicable, and then I'll be able to give you a solid yes or a no by the end of our time together here today. Just because I personally did not like it when an employer would tell me, hey, wait by the phone for a couple of weeks to see if it's a good fit. Does that sound fair? If so, you can just type got it in the chat box. You can give me a thumbs up. I see some people nodding their heads. Awesome. Here's what my staff and I are looking for in the interview portion. First are people that are just eager to learn and open-minded. One reason we work with so many students, and we're actually the #1 employer of college students in the United States every year, is because they're supposed to learn. It's pretty much their job description. Second, people that present themselves well. People need experience working with others by actively listening. And this is an opportunity to get better at working with people both in person and on Zoom. Lastly, I do want to mention that all different types of people and personalities do well with us, but they do tend to have a couple of characteristics in common. They are positive, friendly, and easy to get along with. With that being said, let me go ahead and show this video for you. If you'd like to take some notes through this, obviously this is the entire position description, so I would recommend that you take some notes, but you do not have to if you don't want to. However, I would at least like you to jot down any questions that come to mind so that we can make the one-on-one evaluations as efficient as possible. But I'll give you all a second if you'd like to grab a pen and paper or take some notes on a Word doc or a Google Doc on your computer. That'd be great. All right, let's get started.
You want me to tell you everything about her? Okay. So, our company is called applicant.
All right, so in summary, here's what you basically just learned. All of our representatives are currently showing Cutco cutlery on Zoom and in person through preset presentations. And this means that nobody is going door to door and nobody is cold calling random people to show them our products. You also learned that none of our work from home representatives have products with them when they start, but all of our representatives do win free Cutco just for doing their job. All of our representatives attend a short 3-day training seminar, typically held on a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The first day is more of an orientation and introduction to training, while the next two are more full days of training. So if you'd like to write this down, the next available training position that we have to start anybody in would be this Wednesday the 13th from 2 to 6 p.m., Thursday the 14th, 2 to 7 p.m., and then Friday the 15th, 1 to 5 p.m. And if you are accepted, unfortunately we wouldn't be able to start anybody before then, but if you are accepted and your schedule has some conflicts for those 3 days, then we'd be able to work around your schedule to figure out when would be the best time to train you and get you started here. You also learned that the training itself is unpaid. But just so you all know, all of our representatives act as 1099 independent contractors, so we are physically not allowed to pay them for their time in training by law because they have independent contractor status. Now, just to reiterate, we do not charge for training. There are no startup fees, entry costs, deposits, or anything like that to ever work with us. And because we cannot pay representatives for training, that's why our base pay is as high as the base pay is. And that's why we pay representatives even for no sales while they practice their presentations with close family and friends. Also, if you are accepted to our training, that does not mean that you are officially a representative because you would have to complete all 3 days of the training. It is an extended evaluation process as well because there are assignments and expectations we have for all of our trainees to see if they'd be a good fit for our team. All of our representatives are paid weekly, and the base pay is $25 per presentation. And the main reason that we have the base pay in place is really to ensure that our representatives keep a low-key, no-pressure approach when they are working with their customers. So they never have to do anything odd or out of the ordinary to ever have to sell the product. But obviously when they do make sales, they end up making much more than $25 per presentation. One last thing about the video that I do want to clarify is that the last line is actually a bit incorrect. It said that a piece of Cutco is sold every 66 seconds. That was true in 2019. But 2020 was obviously a very different year for everyone. That number has since been reduced from every 66 seconds in 2019 to every 55 seconds in 2020. And if you were to break up the sets into individual pieces, then a single Cutco product is sold every 4.9 seconds. In fact, our company is doing over $500,000 in business a day and about $3 to $4 million per week. And 2020 was the best year our company has had in its 71-year history. Now, I do not say this to impress you, but more to impress upon you the quality of our team and our staff, especially here in San Mateo and the Bay Area. So in the chat box, go ahead and tell me why you think our company is doing so well right now. I'll go ahead and touch upon a few of the responses that I've already seen. And if you haven't submitted your response yet, feel free to continue formulating them. I saw a response referencing the fact that our representatives are able to work from home. And I really don't know if there's ever been a time in our history where that's been as important as it is today. We've been teaching people to work from home for years, so the pivot to more remote work was very easy for our company, whereas that transition has been very challenging for most companies in North America. I saw another response mentioning that customers are able to meet with representatives face to face over Zoom and FaceTime, and that's also very true. I feel it really enhances the buying experience for a customer being able to meet with a real human being face to face and have their questions answered versus having to look online and rely on the product reviews. Lastly, I did see quite a few of you mention that people have just been at home cooking a lot more now. And that's also definitely true. If I had said at the beginning of this shelter in place pandemic period that you'd be home for the next 30, 60, 90, or in our case, being here in California, over 400 straight days, and you'd be cooking 3 times a day, what would be one of the first things you'd buy? Probably some high quality kitchen stuff, right? So we have the opportunity to work with products that are considered recession proof. It's something that people both need and want. People have been cooking so much more. It's been a habit. Now I do want to go ahead and share a few commonly asked questions by applicants. So I've prepared a slideshow, and you should be able to scroll down on your screen and see a blue slide saying FAQ. Can you give me a thumbs up if you see that there? Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Sarah. Perfect. Now the first question I'm typically asked is, do people like working at Vector? And I think this is an important question to ask. I mean, why are you going to get a job if you're not going to enjoy it? So I'll show you some slides and you can decide that answer for yourself. Now, as you saw in the video, we've won a lot of company awards, including Best Company for Diversity, Best CEO, and Best Place to Work for Women. But far more important to me than any badges or physical trophies are the people that we get to work with. I think about Bree Nunn, who is running track at De Anza College right now. Started with us May of 2021. She sold over 30,000 in her in her first summer working here and earned an All-American scholarship to help towards school. She is now promoted to assistant manager at 19 years old and is helping out with a lot of the functions in the office while gaining great resume experience because she wants to be a lawyer in the future. I think about Celeste Javier, who went to Cappuccino High School and is now at Marymount Manhattan College in New York. She is studying theater and business, and she sold over $37,000 this last summer as a student and was the number 26 student in the entire company and also earned a scholarship for that. I absolutely love to mentor new reps and guide them through not just this position, but anything that they are going through in life. We have a staff of managers that care so much about the success of everyone who starts with us, and our ultimate mission here as a team in San Mateo is to help everyone hit their goals inside and outside of the business, whether they are with us for 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, or the rest of their career. If you want to write this down, the San Mateo 6, which are the 6 pillars that hold us up as an office, are growth, resilience, passion, professionalism, integrity, and leadership. I'm going to put them into the chat real quick. The connections that I've also built here are far beyond just any cool coworkers. I know that I've built a lot of lifelong friendships with my time here, and I absolutely love the atmosphere of our office and this company. We have group chats where we communicate with each other and hype each other up when someone makes a sale or earns a promotion. Before the pandemic, we would hang out a lot as an office after our weekly team meetings. We're starting to do a lot more of that now as things are opening back up. We're currently doing a team run every Thursday morning where we're meeting up at one of our sales manager, Blake McNally's house every Thursday morning, and we're going on a 3 to anywhere up to like 6-7 mile run. Anyone is welcome to join, which is awesome. We'd also go bowling or get some food, play mini golf. I also love that this company recognizes the overachievers. For instance, our reps have plenty of opportunities to win awards that signify their hard work, and they can put them on their resumes through contests that we run throughout the year as a company and as an office. As I mentioned earlier, we have All-American Scholarship Awards that we give out every single semester, and we had 2 students from our office win that last semester in the summer. So for anyone that's competitive like myself, our office is also in contention for what our company calls the Silver Cup, which is our company's national championship. We're currently number 5 in our category out of the entire company, and we're going for first place. So the ability for people who go above and beyond to be recognized for their hard work resonates a lot with me. Also, with my athletics background, I place a large emphasis on trying as best as possible to recreate an in-person team environment, despite the fact that some of the work is done on Zoom. We have representatives who come from rivaling high schools like Junipero Serra High School, Notre Dame Belmont, and Carlmont, and colleges like UC Berkeley, San Jose State, and Santa Clara University. So this level of internal competition adds an extra unique and fun element to our team, and it's always positive. It is never negative. At the end of the summer, we take a trip to Vegas as a team. In fact, for anyone who likes to travel, through this job, I've had the opportunity to travel all over the United States, to Canada and Niagara Falls. We just got back from our trip to Lake Havasu in April of 2021. And next year, the company is sending us on a 10-day trip to Maui. And the reason the company is willing to invest so much in its representatives is because it understands at a core level that as long as the people that work here are happy and growing, the company will be growing as a byproduct of that. Now, we affectionately call people that used to work with us but don't anymore Vector alumni. So maybe they worked for the summer after high school or in college to get some experience. Maybe they worked here on the side of an internship, second job, or semi-retirement to make a little bit of extra money. Or maybe they just wanted to get a leg up on the competition and realized that down the road when they applied for their dream job, they'd like to have something on their resume that wasn't a normal minimum wage dead end type of job on it. Like the normal restaurant, labor, or clerical jobs that most people do. Not that there's anything wrong with these jobs. We definitely need them as a society. They just do not stand out on a resume. So whatever the reason for someone's working here, these are people that don't have any incentive to say good things about us anymore because they no longer work here. Yet they choose to do so anyways. We've been written about in Time Magazine, Forbes, Entrepreneur, NBA, ESPN, Business Insider, Inc. Magazine, and College Magazine names us the #1 job for college students pretty much every year. In fact, 74% of our alumni said that working here helped them get a better job in the future. And these are 3 of my favorites. The first one is by Cameron Brown. Cameron is the son of former Cavaliers and Lakers coach Mike Brown. And being the son of an NBA coach, Cameron clearly did not need a job after high school. But he understood the importance of developing the soft skills that he just wasn't going to learn in college. And he wanted to make a name for himself and differentiate himself from his dad. Now, the second article was written about Mary Beck. Mary was promoted to the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Promotions for MLB and NHL networks at the age of 32. ESPN did an article on her, and she talked about her one summer working here through college as the major catalyst for the success of her professional career at such a young age. And then lastly is Brad Couture. He was a business major that worked through his 4 years at Bridgewater State, and he ended up landing his dream job at a tech company and wrote this article about how working here helped him save $30,000 to invest while being a full-time student. I'm going to put the links to these articles in the chat box, and you can actually check them out later on. In fact, our alumni network is very expansive and extensive. With over 1.5 million members, it's very diverse and spans over multiple countries and continents. But in my opinion, the greatest value to it is that it's accessible to anyone that works here. I believe that's a major reason why our company is consistently ranked as one of the top large companies to work for in America, last year being ranked number 12, just behind Google and Facebook, and ahead of companies you've probably heard of like Keller Williams, Delta Airlines, and Microsoft. Another common question, can people really make money selling knives? Again, I will let you answer this question. This part is important though, so please make sure you're taking some notes on this. Our representatives get paid either the base pay or the commission, whichever is greater at the end of each week, not both combined. So like you know, in our San Mateo office, the base pay is $25 per presentation. The main reason that I specify per presentation and not per hour is because from start to finish, the actual presentation that a representative does if customers have no questions takes like 35 minutes. But I'm sure you can imagine that a customer is going to have questions. So the average presentation takes about 45 minutes to complete. But I want my representatives to have full confidence that even if their presentations take less than an hour and they have a no sale for some reason, they are still at the end of the week going to be guaranteed at least $25 per their total presentations. But as you can see on the screen, here is what a representative would earn on a $200 sale. Now, in the middle, the percentages, those are the commission levels. On the left side, that is the corresponding career sales. So that means that these are based on a representative's lifetime sales with the company. They never go backwards. They never restart. Even if they were to take a 2-year break, they never reset or anything like that. They can only ever get bigger. So when somebody is brand new and they just finished training, they're at $0 in career sales. Between their first $0 and $1,000 in sales, they're at 10% commission. Then as soon as they hit 1,000, they move to 15%, 3,000, 20%, 6,000, 25%, and 10,000, 30%. There's actually a level where a representative could make 50% commission. I was able to hit that level after 2 years working in college. So on a $200 sale at 10%, that representative would make 20 bucks. But as they get better and the longer they're here, they're going to sell more. So at 20%, $40, 25%, $50, and so on and so forth. Remember, our representatives get paid either the base pay or the commission, whichever is greater at the end of each week. So if a representative does 10 appointments during any given week, they are guaranteed the bare minimum of $250. However, if their commissions exceeds that, even by a cent, they will receive the higher amount, not both combined. Is that clear? Awesome. Now in the San Mateo office, we have an amazing training program. And the average order for our office is right under $400. And on a more average sale, like $400, you'll see that even a brand new representative at 10% would earn $40, almost doubling the initial $25 base pay. And someone who's been here a little bit longer and is at the 30% threshold, they would earn $120 for a single presentation, which again would take about an hour or less to complete. We also have some representatives that are able to hit their first promotion on their very first appointment, and that's because we frequently have clients that place orders with us for $1,000 or more. Blake McNally, our sales manager here in San Mateo, had an order for $2,500 at 30% commission while in school last fall. Over this summer, he had a week where he sold $7,000 at 50% commission. Blake is a 19-year-old student at Kenyatta College, so you can see that even a brand new representative starting at 10% or 15% can earn $100, $150, or more on a single presentation. And because there are no caps to our commissions here, there's no limit to how much someone can earn. The $25 base pay is designed to be a floor for my people to stand on so they can expect to receive a steady, stable, consistent weekly paycheck. Whereas with the incentive pay, there's really no ceiling to how much they could earn here. Another one of our representatives who started this last summer is Gabriel Rodriguez. He's a current senior at the University of Redlands, studying theater business as well, and he also graduated from Junipero Serra High School. He was recently added to our Leadership Academy, which is another great thing about our company because it's ran like a startup, even though it's a large company. So for anyone looking for advancement opportunities, you can be promoted into management fairly quickly if you're a hard worker. Gabriel, on his very first weekend working here, sold over $3,000, and so he earned over $400 and 2 promotions and what he calculated to be 8 hours. And he was pretty stoked. He ended up selling over $10,000 in his first 10 days, earned over $2,000 in income, and got the 30% commission fairly quickly. I've been working here for the last 4 years, starting in the same position that you are all currently interviewing for. First, it was around my wrestling schedule, then around my school, wildlife society, and wrestling schedule. And throughout college, I was able to sell over $80,000, and I was able to earn over $40,000 in income. And that's what allowed me to pay for college and still enjoy my life. So if you're wondering if we have 17 to 22-year-olds that make career-like income here, the answer is yes. Here's an example of a sales report. And if you were to multiply these sales numbers by 20 or 25%, you'd start to get an idea of a representative's earning potential. Now, of course, they don't need to be money motivated just to get a great experience here. Personally, I am not just money motivated. If you can relate to anything I say to you, it might be the next couple of seconds. If you work your butt off, wherever you go, you're going to make phenomenal money. For me, when I started, it wasn't just about the income. Obviously, it didn't hurt at all. But for me, it was more about the experience that I was gaining that would benefit me for my future in the long run, that will allow me to have tons of opportunities when I'm finished with college. Maybe you can relate to that. And so the last question I'm asked pretty often is, what's training like? Well, the success of our people starts with our training. Our training is renowned throughout the industry. In fact, it is actually required that marketing and advertising majors at top schools like Purdue University take part in our 3-day training program just to even graduate. So if you were accepted, there are 5 things that we cover in training to make sure each of our representatives are successful. Step 1 is a reason to work. We help representatives pick goals, aspirations, and objectives that are unique for them. Our product, Cutco, it sells itself. I want to be very clear that I am not looking for salespeople today. What I am looking for are people that want to work hard, grow, be part of a team, and develop the ability to sell themselves. In my opinion, it doesn't even matter where someone is going in their life. If they're going to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever it is, they need to know how to sell themselves. So that's the very first thing we teach a representative in training. Step 2 is the names list. So as you know, our representatives practice the presentation with people that they're comfortable with for the feedback, advice, and encouragement. One of the main reasons that our representatives don't call lists of random people that the company has is that's what's called cold calling. And that's not fun at all for anybody. Our representatives practice with people they're comfortable with. They can do as many or as little of those as they want to, and they're still guaranteed the base pay just so that they can be comfortable with the products and the scripts. This names list is their names list. They never turn it into me. They never show it to anyone else. This just helps them get started so that they can be selective with who they want to practice the presentation with. Step 3 is to make a schedule, whether it is fixed or flexible. For myself, being a student athlete, one of the main draws to the position when I was 19 was the flexibility of the job. So every week, a representative is able to meet one-on-one with a manager and set their schedule around all of the other priorities they might have, whether that be school, sports, a second job, internship, family, or even just a vacation here and there. And if a representative works one schedule one week, they obviously are not bound to that same schedule the following week. Step 4 is to practice the scripts. Our company has spent decades developing scripts that our representatives use. Hands down, the most important script that we teach is the professional introduction script. Nobody has an unlimited supply of family and friends that they can continue to practice these presentations with, right? So in order to get introduced to new people, we teach our representatives in training how to show the presentation to new people and get more names and numbers. Our newest people that learn this script are averaging 5 introductions for every customer that they see. That means that after our representatives' first 20 presentations, they have about 100 people they could call if they wanted to, so they never run out of people to talk to. And lastly, step 5 is to set up the initial practice presentations. This is everyone's favorite part of training. We teach representatives how to communicate with our customers that we get paid just to show it, so there's no pressure to buy anything. That way, any purchasing decisions are left up entirely to the customer, and they never feel pressured during any part of the process. And so that's it. You've had a chance to learn about us, and now it's my turn to learn a little bit about you. So I'll be meeting with each of you privately, spending 5 to 10 minutes evaluating you. You'll be invited to a breakout room, and none of the other applicants will be able to hear us talk. There will be a pop-up on your screen. You just want to click join, and a new browser tab will open, then I'll turn on your audio so that we can talk. Now, in the interest of transparency, given that there are a few of you in here, it's going to take me about 20 to 30 minutes to meet with each of you one-on-one, but I promise I will contact each and every one of you to let you know if you'll have the opportunity to work with us. In the meantime, while you wait, you can play on your phone, read those articles I posted in the chat box, which I recommend, or you can just watch Netflix. I really don't mind at all. Please make sure to keep an eye on the computer so that when the pop-up shows for you to join the breakout room, you can click on it promptly, and that way I'm not sitting in there for 10 minutes waiting for you to join. Now, if you do have any outstanding obligations that you need to tend to, please let me know that in the chat box, and I will try to see you sooner rather than later. But stay in as long as you can. And if you have to leave, go ahead and put your cell phone number in the chat, and I'll be able to reach out to you later today. However, I do want to be clear, I will be giving preference to the people I'm able to meet with face-to-face. All right, with that being said, I do have 2 final prompts for you to answer prior to our one-on-one. They should be on your screen now. And this is not a race, so please take as much time as you need to compose your responses, as this will be the final opportunity to make an impression on us prior to your one-on-one. Once you've finished, please post your responses so that I know that you're ready to meet. And with that being said, thank you so much for your time, and I really look forward to meeting with each of you shortly. Woo!